Okay, so what do we do now? Where do we stand? Where are we going? We know that the law didn't get changed by the sunset date in September. They've moved the goalposts back to December 11th. That's only about 2 months from now. I'm talking to you in the middle of October. 2 months before the deadline, what can you do? Well, two things. One, if you already know that you want to invest in an EB5 and you thought it through, you need to get your petition filed as soon as possible. If the petition is filed before the law changes, it's widely believed, again, we don't know what the law will state, but based on past experience, if your petition is filed before the law changes, probably you will still be able to proceed with the limits that have been set, for the past 20 years. 500,000 in a targeted employment area, 1 million outside of a targeted employment area. So get your petition filed as soon as possible. And do not wait until the last minute, the last week before December 11th. For one thing, we don't know if Congress is going to again wait until the last minute before they actually pass something. They usually do, but no guarantees. But even if they do, it takes quite a bit of time to put an EB5 package together. There's a lot of things that go into it. You as the investor are going to be asked to supply a ton of documentation. It might take you more than a week or two just to gather all of that. So get started as quickly as you can. If you cannot get your petition filed before the law changes, probably between now and December 11th, there is one possibility that might still enable you to invest at the lower amount. Again, this is a theory. The law could include provisions that would not make this available. But a commonly held perception, which might very well prove to be the case, is that if you invest through a regional center, and that regional center has filed what's called an exemplar petition, which means they have filed a petition with the Immigration Service for an actual project that investors will be investing into. It might be one that's already actively running, but the regional center has filed a petition for a hypothetical investor, including all of the required documentation. And the Immigration Service has reviewed that petition and said, if you stick to this business model and this business plan, if each one of your investors follows this same project and pattern that you've laid out in this exemplar EB5 filing, we will approve all the regional centers detail. The only thing that will need to be done is the analysis of the individual investor. And because that exemplar was approved before the deadline, that project, meaning the project you're investing into, will be grandfathered under the old law, the law that was in effect when the petition, when the project was approved. So even if the investors come later, after the law changes, it is hoped that investors who are investing later, but investing in an already approved project, may still be able to invest under the lower amounts under the old law. You need, again, to be very, very careful, because there is no guarantee. We won't know for sure what the law will be until the law is written and passed. So when you are ready to invest, you've got to do your homework, make sure you get good immigration advice, and do your due diligence. The EB5 visa is one of the most complex, I think it is the most complex visa that there is. There are a lot of reasons for that. It's one of the reasons I enjoy working on them the most. They're fascinating. But they are very complex. It takes an awful lot to put them together. You've got to be sure that you have up-to-date information, and that's one reason I'm supplying this little update in what has happened with the law and when the law is likely to change. We'll provide another one whenever Congress acts. Okay. Again, you've got to do your homework. You've got to be very careful. You need to make sure you've got good advice. You're investing, even under the old law, $500,000 to $1 million. Once that is invested into your EB5 project, you probably are not going to see that money again for a good 3 to 5 years. That is, on the average, how long it takes before the project is completed, the green card is issued, the conditions are removed, and the money, the investment can be gotten back out. There are no guarantees that you will be able to get the money back. Most projects do if they are managed well, but it will take a long time. So be very careful. And finally, as I said, make sure you get good guidance and advice. Feel free to call me, call our office, and we would love to talk to you and answer all of your questions about the EB5 Immigrant Investor Visa Program. Thank you.